I found out yesterday that Resident Evil 8 is not going to be on last gen. It's not going to be on Xbox One. It's not going to be on PS4. It's only going to be on PS5 in the Series X and PC. Okay? This is why modern fucking video games fucking suck, okay? Listen, okay. Think about the PS3. Think about the PS2. Think about the PS4. When the PS3 came out, guess what? You could still play games on the PS2 for probably about 2 years until, they still came out with games on the PS2 for about 2 years until, the PS3 was considered the current gen, right? Okay, when the PS4 came out, you could still play games on the PS3 for about 2 years. Now, the PS5 is coming out, and Capcom is saying, fuck you, you don't just have to pay $60 to get our fucking game, you also have to pay like $900 to buy a brand new system when the price of the system isn't even fucking out. Okay, no details about the system is out because it's not out yet, and no one knows that there's going to be any bugs or anything with it, but Resident Evil 8 is coming out next year, and the PS5 should be coming out around November or December, I believe. It's just so unbelievably dumb. It's just so greedy. I can't imagine I can't imagine that this is good for anyone who's an actual fan. It's just good for money. And I think it's actually a bad business decision because right now, with the coronavirus, hundreds or thousands of people are still out of work. Okay, and they are not going, or they're just returning to work, which means they do not have the money to get a PS5 unless you're really well off. Okay, you are not going to be able to drop $800 or $900 fucking dollars on a PS5 as soon as it comes out. And then I hear, oh, well, the PS5 is only going to cost $500 or $450. That's bullshit. Do you remember when the PS4 first came out? That shit was like $900, $800. I had to wait like 2 years to get mine, or a year to get mine, and it dropped to like $500 or $600. But it was still like expensive. And also you got to look at gigs, and all the shit like that. But it's just absolutely unbelievably greedy. And their excuse is, oh, we don't want to wait for loading screens. Like, okay, I really give a shit if I have to wait for loading screens on my PS4 that can run things like, oh, I don't know, Red Dead Redemption 2, which is like the biggest game. It's just, and this isn't just about Capcom either. Just modern video game companies have gotten so greedy, and they don't care about the quality of their product anymore. Let me get back to Capcom real quick. Okay, Resident Evil 3 remake. I paid $60 for a 3.5 hour game. Okay, a 3.5 hour game, and I took my time on the first playthrough, and it only took me 3.5 hours. You know what getting the S rank in that is? Under 2 hours. That's how short that game is, and there's no replay value. The only replay value in that game is that you, could freaking go through the harder modes, and once you've gone through the hardest mode, or once you've gone through hard, then you really don't want to even have to go through the other two modes because they're ridiculously hard. And that's the only thing you can do. They didn't add any DLCs, okay? And they took away so much shit that people were complaining about it. Now nobody's really complaining about it because everyone is so cucked by the fucking gaming industry now. If you complain about anything, people will bitch at you. Let me tell you something. The Last of Us is a terrible game. If you say that, you will get fucking shit on. But it's anything. You say Resident Evil 3 is a bad game. Oh, you're just a hater. You just want it to be like the originals. Blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you something. The original game, first of all, people can say that game is about 3.5 hours. When I'm playing it usually takes me about 5 or 6. you know, when I'm going fast, because there's a lot of puzzles in there, and there's a lot of deaths and stuff, you know, and it's probably longer than that if you add in my deaths, you know, but, whatever, I'm getting on, like, okay, with Resident Evil 3 Remake, you had literally no DLCs. They didn't add anything except for that shitty online resistance game, which is total bullshit because, you know, if you go into a fight with a mastermind who's a higher level than you, you're fucked. He'll just spam lickers at you. You know, if you just go up against a mastermind that's like around the same level as you, it's not that big of a deal. But if you go up a mastermind that's around like level 20 or something like that, you're fucked. There's nothing you can do because you have low level weapons at the beginning, and they'll just spam lickers at you and you're screwed. You know? And, it's just a trash game, and they didn't add any DLCs, half-assed piece of shit, people paid $60 for it, and aren't even complaining about it! They're still taking it in the ass from these fucking gaming companies! Wake up, people! Start bitching! It's the only way! If you just sit there and keep on being like, hey, this is fine, they're just gonna keep on doing it! Quit buying this shit! Oh, and guess what? I heard that, you know, that Resident Evil 4 remake's gonna come out. Who the fuck needs a Resident Evil 4 remake? Please explain to me who needs a Resident Evil 4 remake. What is wrong with the original Resident Evil 4? Someone please tell me that it needs a remake. How is that game outdated? The game plays well. The game looks good on the HD remaster. Everything about it is fucking perfect in my opinion. I think that is a 5-star game. It is the only game to have ever won in Resident Evil, the only game in Resident Evil history to have ever won a Best Game of the Year award, okay? And they're gonna put that out, not because they give a shit about the quality, but because they know that these retards are gonna keep on buying it, okay? Oh my god. Like, the stupidity is just, okay, let's take another example. I've been picking on Capcom for a little bit. Let's take another example. Final Fantasy VII Remake, okay? So what they did was literally take the first 8 hours of the game. When you first get out of the, like in the original game, when you first get out of the first like town and you get to like the open world, you don't even get that in the Final Fantasy VII Remake. You're in that place the entire time. Okay? You never even get out to the map. So it's the first 8 hours of the game into 60 or 50 hours depending on how long it takes you to play it. That's garbage. And a lot of the levels feel stretched out. There's a lot of levels where there's no cutscenes, there's no story progression, nothing. And then the end of the game is just a bunch of like bullshit that you can't even understand without having played the original Final Fantasy VII, which is bullshit. If you're like, for me, when I played it, I hadn't played the original Final Fantasy VII. I had to go. I played Remake and was so confused by the ending that I had to look up articles to understand what was going on, and then play the original Final Fantasy VII just to know what the fuck was going on. That is not a good game. Okay, yes, it has good gameplay. Yes, it feels like Kingdom Hearts. Yes, there's good things about it. But at the end of the day, they're still stretching out 8 hours of the original game into 60 hours. And the only reason is so they can continue to put out more Final Fantasy VII games that they know people will buy. And, you know, did you notice that they didn't call the Final Fantasy VII Remake Final Fantasy VII Part 1? Oh, I wonder why. Maybe it's because less people would have fucking bought it if that was the case. But now, the next one's probably going to be called Final Fantasy VII Part 2. So, you know, fucking, you know, but whatever. People are still going to buy it because they're cucked by gaming industries. And nobody complains about Final Fantasy VII Remake. Nobody complains about Resident Evil 3 Remake. It's just absolutely mind-boggling. And you people just take it in the ass from these gaming companies, and you're just like, hey, give me more, please, daddy. You know, put it in my mouth. Like, fucking... all of this shit is just becoming monetized. Fallout has become garbage. And I'm sure they're planning on doing it with Skyrim next too. Fallout 76 is like the worst shit of all time. You can't even compare it to even Fallout 4, which I didn't like that much, but compare it to like Fallout New, but that's still better than the Fallout 76. But compare it to Fallout New Vegas or Fallout 3, it's all monetization and money. That's all they care about. It's the same reason why they're making a Resident Evil 4 remake when they know it's not going to be critically well received, because there's no reason to make the fucking game in the first place, except unless there's dollar signs in your fucking eyes, which is all these goddamn gaming companies care about, and you people just keep on taking it in the ass, and you don't complain, and you don't do anything, and you're just like, oh yeah, you know, it is what it is. Oh, Resident Evil 8, all these new games that I want are only going to be on PS5, and it's on a brand new system that hasn't even come out yet, and nobody knows if it's going to be buggy. Okay, sure, it is what it is, you know? I'm not going to complain. You people not complaining is the problem. You keep on making it okay for these fucking assholes to just fuck up gaming. Fucking, I mean, I feel like this shit started with like Fortnite or something, with all the really bad monetization, because what they realized with Fortnite is like, oh, look at all these retards. They'll actually spend money on dumbass shit like costumes and hammers and, you know, guns or whatever. Like, they'll spend real money. And because of that, the government got involved, and now the government is involved in gaming, and it's not people who are trying to make good games anymore. It's people who are trying to make as much money as possible, and they're all working together, and no one cares, no one bitches, no one says anything. Everyone, like all of you people, just like all the people on Twitch, on Facebook, whatever, all they just are like, you know, if you complain about any of these new games that came out that are popular, they'll disagree with you and say that you're being an asshole, and it's ridiculous. Like, how hard do you have to be cucked by video games? Does every video game have to turn into Fallout 76 before you fuckers realize that shit is getting worse and not better? Yes, graphics are better, sure. Does that mean the games are better? Hell no. I mean, God. It's just... do something. Complain. Fucking bitch. Refuse to buy their shit. Boycott it. Whatever. Just, this cannot go on anymore like this. Because all it is it's straight corporate greed. It's not like back in the day when they used to make games and they tried to make games with good quality. I'm sure, you know, obviously they were trying to make money, but it wasn't to this degree. It wasn't this level of greediness. Last console that came out was the PS4, and when the PS3 was out, you could still play games on it that were on the PS4 for like 2 years. But I'm sure nobody's gonna listen to me, nobody's even gonna watch this, and you people are still just gonna take it up the fucking ass.